lying in Shavasana, or you can bend your knees if you want to have your feet on the floor and have a softer attachment to the spine and the floor there. Or you can take Supta Baddha Konasana if you want to be like Peggy and work on your hips and let your hips drop out with your feet together. Your legs aren't really important, so make them comfortable wherever you're happiest having them. And then pop your hand, one hand, doesn't matter which one, but normally we'd take the right hand and place up on your diaphragm. So just at the bottom of your ribs there, where that gap is, roughly there where your diaphragm is, and then your other hand pop it onto your stomach, onto your tummy, below your belly button somewhere. And then just let your arms soften so that they're kind of just hanging there and your hands are sitting.
If it will be anywhere, it would be in
there. I still hear somebody talking. Can you make sure you're all muted, please? I don't know who it is. Could you just check you've all got your microphones off? Thank you. So once you're positioned like that, close your eyes and just maybe note your breath first of all. I'm going to sit up for this just so I can talk, but think of then starting to control your breath. So making it a little bit deeper and smoother, connecting with it. So using the breath here to connect the brain and the body, as we said. So we're thinking about moving from the diaphragm here in this breath. So all we're trying to do is think of the in-breath, moving your diaphragm downwards. So your diaphragm's that big expansive muscle or fascia that's underneath your ribs and attached to your spine. So as you breathe in, you should feel it press down gently into your lower abdominal area, or to your abdominal area. And then as you breathe out, you want to breathe out from your belly upwards. So sinking the belly backwards towards your spine as you breathe out. So breathing in and pushing down gently, so your lungs expand, and then that's gently moving your diaphragm down. So your belly would also feel like it's expanding in the in-breath under your hand. And then on the exhale, you'll feel that hand, you can use it just to push gently onto your tummy if you want, just to exhale and breathe out from the belly upwards. So once you've got that rhythm, those are the 2 points I want you to think about as you're breathing in and out. Your diaphragm and how it's moving your abdomen, and your belly and how it's releasing the breath from you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to then, once you've got into that rhythm, give you a few facts on the gut that we're going to be speaking about. So this one's called Trust Your Gut. Really interesting if you want to look it up a little bit more later, on what they're finding now and how connected your gut is to your brain. So from as far back as the ancient Greeks, the gut was viewed as the seat of emotion, interestingly, and not your heart. And I think we can connect to that. I think most of us know that when we're nervous, or even when you're angry and when you're excited, things happen in your tummy, things rumble, things, butterflies start moving. So there is an obvious connection to the emotions in us, into our gut. From the entry at your throat to the exit at the other end of you is the gastrointestinal tract, and that can be up to around 9 meters long, which is 10 the length of your actual body from shoulders to hips. Roughly these are, but that's some incredible amount of stuff that's moving inside you at the moment. The gut-brain axis is what they now call it, and it's been found to be an information highway. We often speak about this, and the thing that connects, the physical connection, is the vagus nerve, which we work on a lot. And we know that we call it I call it the superhighway, your vagus nerve. But what's happening is all these messages are running up and down that from your brain to your colon. And vice versa, it's a two-way highway. So your brain sends messages down the way to move things, essentially, mainly, and your gut sends messages up the way, usually sensory messages, which are telling the brain what it needs to do. So who's in charge? And chemically, the two things are connected, the gut and the brain, through neurotransmitters, which are these sensors and things as well that are involved sending things up and down. But serotonin and dopamine are two of those. And interestingly, over 90% of our serotonin, I had already looked this up, Lucy, which is one of our happy chemicals, over 90% of that and over 50% of our dopamine are produced in our gut. So being happy doesn't always come from the head, it does literally come from the gut. And there are 500 million neutrons in the gut. That's 5 times the number of those neutrons, these sensors that are in our spinal cord. So it's a very busy place, your gut. And these connections now they're finding are very involved with people who have got anxiety, people who have got stress, depression, Alzheimer's. They think there's an involvement between, I think it's the acid in our stomach. I won't go too medical here. But there's a huge connection between our good gut bacteria and our moods and our health mentally. So in studies, the good gut bacteria was if you had good gut bacteria, then you have reduced stress hormones in your blood. It's been shown in studies. And it also, the good gut bacteria has a positive effect on your immune cells because 70% of your immune system is in the gut. So, as I say, a very busy place. It's its own little ecosystem going on in there. So we're going to work with that a little bit today as we move on now, and we're going to do some movements, thinking of how yoga works with the gut and the vagal nerve, and therefore with your mood and your mental health. So from here, let go of your breath now, still lying still. And our first movement we're going to take is half Apanasana, half wind pose. So just gently drawing your right knee towards your chest, hug it either behind the thigh or hold it in front of the shin. Try and relax your shoulders. Try to focus on the area around your lower abdomen. See if you can draw your tummy in a little bit more and just draw in that knee slightly closer to your chest. So big hip opener this one, but we're also compressing the front of our body. So that area with all the organs that are inside our gut there in our abdominal area, we're giving it a nice gentle squeeze. So just release that leg now and take it to the other side. A nice gentle squeeze on that side. And then put the feet down to the floor. Soft knees, knees slightly bent, lift your knees up a little bit. And then we're just going to yogic cycle, but the easiest yogic cycling ever, by moving your right foot along the floor away from you, rolling up onto your heel and just opening up that fascia on the bottom of your foot by flexing the foot and stretching that leg out. And then draw that leg in, but using your foot on the floor, and then take the other one away from you at the same time. So it's a cycling movement, keeping your foot on the feet, both on the floor, and just drawing one leg in at a time and taking the other one away. So as you do that, pop your hands then onto your lower belly area again, both hands. Just feel the movement through, it's more external muscles you probably feel here. But again, we're giving it a gentle massage inside there. I notice I'm keeping my tummy slightly involved here by connecting through it. I think you have to do that probably to just move your legs. So you are involving the muscles as well in your stomach. So as you do that, you're contracting muscles and contracting the area inside, compressing the area inside. Okay, so then take both feet away, bring them both in at once, one at a time, and bring them into Apanasana, full Apanasana, wind pose. Holding your shins or the back of your thighs again, just give a few little squeezes, letting the knees move in and out. Try and move on the breath if you can, so do it nice and slowly. And then maybe you want to just have a little rock across the back of your lower back. So just rocking gently from side to side, holding onto your legs still. Because the abdomen, of course, goes right round us. It's not just the front of our body. We tend to think of our tummies as being our gut, but the whole of the gut goes from throat, as I said, right down to the bottom of you. So literally all that 9 meters. We're just moving a bit more on the back of our body here too. Okay, place the feet down to the floor. And then we're going to take a half happy baby. Now you might want a strap for this. Some of you can do it okay, but I'm doing my right leg first of all. You're bringing your right knee in again. And if you're going to use your strap, you have to lift your head up a little bit. Just pop it across the pad of your foot there. And hold onto the strap with your right hand. And then you're just gently flexing that foot, your right foot. The other leg doesn't matter, it's your counterbalance. So just be comfortable with it. The knee here isn't coming towards your chest, it's more coming towards your underarm. So you're just gently drawing that knee down towards your armpit and keeping that foot flexed. Now you might not go very far with this, you might still feel that your leg's quite high, but keep the foot flexed and try and draw your knee backwards a little bit. If you can't bend your leg there, just try and draw the leg backwards a little bit. Using the strap helps here. If you are comfortable not using the strap, you want your hand to go on the outside edge of that foot, so clasping it with your hand, and then your forearm crosses your shin bone and your elbow comes to the inside. Now you'll then feel where your knee needs to go because it'll go much further out using your hand than the strap. So if you draw down with your hand, keeping that foot flexed, and you're trying to keep the foot parallel with the ceiling. Okay, so we've got into this, this awkward position here. But again, we're using it to just gently compress a different part of your lower abdomen here. And then try and release through your neck. Try and soften through that little hyoid bone under your chin. And find your breath and draw it down to your tummy. And back up again. So take a few breaths here, just holding on to that one leg. As you do, you'll probably feel it working more and more through your hip. It is a hip opener, this one. But you're also working on that lower abdominal area and corners of you there that you probably don't really notice an awful lot of. Okay, so then let go of that leg gently, let it come down. Have a side body stretch on that side, lengthen out through your leg. And then extend from your waist downwards. So think of opening up the expanse of your lower abdomen in that side there. And then we're going to take the strap and pop it on the other side, or try it with your hand if you want to. As I say, the other leg's just your counterbalance, so don't worry about whether it's up or down or long or folded. So find your half happy baby on this side. If you didn't try it with your hand before and you think you can manage it, give it a go and see how that goes. Some of us find certain positions easy, some of us don't, so don't worry if it's not one that's available to you. Use your strap and find your breath. And this time think of your breath as going down the lift shaft as you inhale, channeling down towards your belly, and then exhaling the lift shaft, the lift's coming back up it. Just a visualization to try. If that one doesn't work for you, just breathe in and out. Don't worry too much, but it might help you to think of that long tract between the top and bottom of your body. And then release that foot. Now, not so easy with the strap to do both feet. So if you find this too difficult, go back into Apanasana again and just have a few squeezes, maybe move your knees in and out. If you want to come with me and try full happy baby. So clasping both sides along sides of your feet, flexed feet. Knees should be under your ankles if you can make it that way. If that's too difficult, then let your legs be where they are, but keep those feet parallel to the ceiling if you can. Cross the shins with your forearms and then just draw down gently. Now this might not be available to you, don't worry if it's not. If it is and you've got there, have a little rock again across the lower back. But watch you're not doing what I'm doing, and I'm arching my neck. So I need to tuck that hyoid bone and stretch through the back of my neck so that it's not holding all the tension of this pose. If you manage that with the strap, then you can send me a picture of how to do it, because I tried it last night and it got all in a pickle. Okay, feet come to the floor, gently move one away and then the other, and have a full body stretch this time. And then draw back in. What I'm doing here. Okay, so we're going to take 2 or 3 bridge rolls here. We all know that one. So bring the heels in as close to the bottom as you can. And then hands can be by your side, or you can take them up and down with you. I'd suggest you don't for the first couple, but take 2 or 3 on your own. Think of that pelvic tilt though, first of all, everybody. Tuck the tummy by taking the pelvis, the pubic bones and the pelvic bones in towards your belly button. So just roll through your back there a couple of times before you do your bridge. If you've gone into it, that's not a problem, but otherwise have a little roll through your pelvic tilt here. And then when you're ready, inhaling, we're moving up. So we're pressing into the feet gently, moving the shins away from you, rolling the knees forward, opening up through the hip flexors, lifting the tummy by squeezing the glutes. Feeling that channel move right up through, and then gently moving down on your exhale. So think you're trying to stretch that gastrointestinal tract, not all 9 meters of it, but try and stretch it as you inhale. You're trying to move your tailbone away from you and reaching up through to your crown. So the spine's really elongated here as much as you can. It's obviously in a curve when you come up. Trying to open up, particularly the front of your body. We're helping things to have space to move. It's obviously a healthy thing to do for joints and muscles and everything else, but it's also great for your organs to give them some space. Sometimes we tend to sit nowadays at desks leaning over forward all the time, and that really compresses that area. So your diaphragm will be pushing down all the time if you think of it on that area, and you're seated so everything's being pressed up. So there's no space there for things to move. So if you do sit down at work, please make sure you get up and down quite a lot and let things have a little bit of space to move. Okay, after the next one, come back down. Rest your spine gently onto the floor, take the legs away from you. Have a stretch if you feel you need to, and then we're going to roll over and come onto our tummies. Come up to Sphinx. So elbows under shoulders, hands facing forward. But a little bit of tension in the hands as if you're pulling backwards on the mat, so that you pull your heart forward by doing that. Thinking of that little hyoid bone under your chin again, move that slightly backwards and tip it so that you've got a long back of the neck. So you should be looking forward in this position at the mat, just ahead of your hands. And you want to feel as if your heart is being hooked forward and round. So it's somebody's got you under your bra, ladies. Sorry, Gary, and pulling up and under there so that your heart's moving between your shoulders almost. Then think of your lower abdominal area. So gently press your pelvic bone and your pubic bones into the floor. And at the same time, lift your belly button. So doing that, you probably find your hips switched on. You might have your feet a little bit wider apart. If this affects your lower back, do widen the feet. So it looks like you're just lying down this one, but there's quite a lot of connection from your throat right down through to your pubic area. So drawing in and upwards through your belly button and holding this, but then softening if you can gently. Inhale and draw up through from the lower abdominal area. And then release back down, the breath back down to there. See if that works. It's the opposite of what you probably feel you should be doing. So try it and see if it works for you. So you're drawing, as you inhale, you're drawing the breath up from the lower half of you. And then as you exhale, you're drawing the breath back down to your tailbone. So having tried that 2 or 3 times, then stop and switch and go the other way. See if you can breathe in as we would normally do. Just go back to how you feel you would normally do it. So you're using your diaphragm again, probably. And then gently release yourself back down to the floor. Hands then come to just above your shoulders, your fingers. We're going to do 2 or 3 little cobras. So feet can be wider if you find this harder on your lower back. Remember, keep your elbows tucked in. Keep that long back of neck feeling. You're now looking down the way at your mat. And on the inhale, you've got your, before we start, you've got your pelvis again attached to the floor and lifted through your tummy button. On your inhale then, you're going to roll up through from the tailbone, start to open up on the front of your body. So lifting up until it's the top opens last. Don't need to go right up here, your elbows can still be quite soft. Just gently rolling back down from the top of your spine. Roll back down. So tailbone starts the movement here, just like in cat-cow. Rolling up and opening up through the abdominal area, through the diaphragmatic area, through the front of your chest, and a little bit through the front of your throat. Taking it nice and slowly on the breath. Do a couple more. And when you feel ready, stop at the top. We won't hold here for long, but stop at the top. And just gently turn your head slowly, slowly, slowly to the right. Look towards your right shoulder. Feel a nice stretch through the left side of your neck. Look towards your left shoulder. Again, nice stretch through the side of your neck. Take that once more to each side. So what we're doing here is affecting the vagal nerve, because the vagal nerve runs up both sides of your neck. And it's attached from your brain, as I said, right down to your colon. Goes through many major organs. Goes through your diaphragm. So everything is working to put a little bit of pressure on it here. So to keep some health. If we don't move, then we don't stay healthy. So it's the same thing for all the parts of our body. Move down gently back down to the floor when you're ready. Take your hands under your head, have a little rest if you need to through your arms. And then we're going to come up and do that cat-cow that we've just spoken about. So it's a whistle-stop tour of floor space today. Into your tabletop position. Again here, think of the length from the throat right down to your tailbone. So move your tailbone away slightly. It's only a millimetre or so you're doing it. And then move the crown of your head slightly in the other direction. Lengthen through your body. When you're ready, using your breath, inhale in neutral and then exhale, start at your tailbone again, rolling and tucking it under. We're going into cat first of all on the exhale until you get to letting your head drop. And then on the inhale, move in from the tailbone again, not from your head. So start to move from your tailbone, open up through the front of your body. Feel that opening through your belly, through your upper chest, into cow. Take a couple more. If you feel you want to go into a more dynamic cat-cow, if that feels good, stretching backwards, then do so. Take a couple on your own in the way you want it, moving on the breath from the tailbone, remember. And then coming back up to the top. And we're going to bring our feet in towards us now. So tuck your toes, walk your hands in. And then you're going to come into Malasana from here. So grab your bricks if you think you'll need them for your feet. So you can pop your bricks under your heels if you feel you want them. A little bit of balance here. So your bricks are under your heels. Malasana is garland pose. So feet turn slightly out. You're up in the balls of your feet if you're on your bricks. If you're not, you're flat-footed on the floor, that's fine. It's just a gentle squat. So use your bricks if you feel it just softens the pose for you a bit this morning. And then elbows, or upper arms rather, are just inside the fold of your knees here. So just using them gently to open up through the inner thighs, through the perineum. And then think of hands in heart center, Anjali Mudra if you're comfortable. This one is, you do round a little bit, but see if you can think of moving that chin back slightly so you open up the back of your neck. And then tucking your tummy and seeing if you can open up the front of your body a little bit by lifting and moving your heart forward. So quite careful on your shoulders to do this one too, although it's a hip opener. Really, I would say probably the hips are more loose in this one. The sukha is in the hips rather than in it's normally the lower half that's the stira, the strong part of us. But here, this is quite a nice one for opening up the lower half of you. And drawing that tummy in just a little bit, to put a little bit more pressure on that area. Maybe have a rock then between your feet. Just slowly moving through. I know some of you find this one quite hard, the balance in it. So you can use a wall, remember, if you're practicing this at home, just to get used to it. And think of moving that undercarriage forwards. So you're rolling your hips forward. But it's quite a nice one just to roll around in as well. It's not always a static, tense balance hold. Okay, so coming back, feet back to the floor and bring your bottom to the floor. Grab your strap again here. It was funny because I looked up yesterday. I mean, I obviously know some of the poses I would use, but I like to see what other people suggest to use for gut work, essentially. And I think every yoga pose came up from different people. So essentially all our yoga poses, particularly forward folds, which we're about to do, work on our abdominal gut area. So feet together, strap round your feet in both hands. Draw your elbows then backwards to the side of your body and nice and close to your body so that you lift up through your spine. So think of using your sit bones to bounce off, not the word I'm looking for, but it's there. And then lifting up through the crown, but tucking that chin slightly again so the long back of the neck comes in. Think of moving the heart slightly forwards and your elbows slightly back. So a little bit of a back bend feeling. Drawing the tummy in then, draw it back towards your spine. Draw your feet towards you. Close your eyes for a second and just breathe. So see which breath works for you, whether it's moving the breath down on the inhale or up on the inhale. Nice, long, slow breaths. Think of the breath moving through from your nostrils right down through, basically following the same route that your gastrointestinal tract takes from the throat downwards. A little bit more wiggly, the gastrointestinal tract though. Okay, so then soften slightly, but we're thinking here of folding at your hip flexors. So trying to keep that body nice and long So just gently moving the heart towards your feet. So keep yourself lifted out of your your pelvis. Try and lift out of it. Try and draw your tummy in to support your lower back here. And it's not a fold, it's not a rounded fold, this one. It's a nice long body fold. And breathe. So close your eyes and just track down through your body and see what's rounding. I can feel my neck is straining to go forward because my nose thinks I should be nearer my feet. So try and draw back through your spine and lift up so you've got a nice long front body here. And the fold is happening at your hip flexors. Use the breath, use that nice long inhale, exhale. And then we are going to soften. So again from the tailbone, lift up through from your sit bones, long back. And you're just tucking that tummy, tucking the chin and moving forward gently. So try and move up through from your sit bones upwards through the spine as you gently curve forward into a soft forward fold. Paschimottanasana, west side facing pose, this one's called. So when you're down to that point, you can let go of the strap, you can soften, put your hands on your legs if you need a little bit of support. If you're a little bit more flexible and you want to try, you can put your hands to the floor or take your hands to your feet. And see if you can just stretch out just a little bit more through the back of the body. By lifting up through your tummy, tucking it under your ribs, maybe it's a feeling of. Softening through the chin and letting the head hang down. Big stretch in the back of the body, big opener. Lots of compression around the belly area in this one. And then trailing the hands back along the legs, take it from the sit bones and start to stack back up. Very slowly coming back up to the top. Okay. So then bringing the feet into Bhujungasana, bringing the soles of your feet together. I'll do it this way, that's okay. And we're going to go into the opposite way that we've just been moving. So we're moving forward. You're going to take your hands backwards. So one at a time, roll your shoulders round and turn your hands. If you can't quite face them backwards to the side's fine, but try and just open up the front of your shoulder as you take one hand back. Then do the same to the other shoulder. Roll it back so you really feel you've opened up through your upper chest that way. I come up on my fingers here because they're just like a little bit more bounce off my fingers, but if you can go down on your palms if you want to. What we're trying to do here though is I'm going to have to move backwards a little bit. I want to open up the front of the body. So it's kinky Cobra, this one's called, remember. So we're going to just, from the sit bones, press into the sit bones, roll the tummy out a little bit. Allow it just to go a little bit, your tummy here. Maybe stick it out a bit as much as you want. Open it up. Open up all that fascia in the front of your body by drawing back through your shoulders. Draw back towards that little spot between your shoulder blades. Open up the front of your chest. Watch your head, don't throw it back. Keep your chin a little bit engaged so that you're not opening up too much through your neck, because you'll crunch the back of your neck and that's not good. See if you can soften through your hip flexors. They're very involved with your stump muscles, so try and draw your knees down a little bit more towards the floor here. And breathe. So counterbalancing the forward fold. Always good to keep balance involved, whichever way we're doing it. And then rolling back up gently, come up, using your hands to support you. Pop your hands on your feet, do your shins now, or under the hard edges of your feet, if you can tuck them there. Draw up again through from the sit bones like we did in Paschimottanasana. So a nice long body first of all. Draw the tummy in, draw the chin back. See if you can take the shoulders back a little bit here. Might have to bring your feet in a little bit closer. Holding your shins works here as well if that's too intense for you. And then when you're nice and long feeling, again from the sit bones, tuck your tummy back. Tuck it back and lift it up under your ribs if you can. Rolling forwards through the spine, Moving upwards through the spine and the back of your body and opening it as you tuck your chin and roll downwards into forward fold. I'm still sitting back a little bit here, my body weight's going backwards. If you can draw your body weight forward a little bit more and lean down towards your feet so that you're looking back at your tummy here. So again, a big opener for the lower back. Keep that tummy engaged because that supports your lower back. So we're talking muscles here, we're not talking about the actual tummy inside. But every time we work on those muscles, it moves things around. Otherwise things stagnate. Keeping that area oiled is the idea. Okay, so then drawing back up from that, very slowly from the sit bones upwards. Keep your strap handy, we're going to need it here now. We're going to do Navasana, boat pose, which uses a lot of the core muscles, but we'll use the strap today so that we're not working on the core too much that way. So sitting again, pop the hands behind you like we just did. Roll your shoulders open. Bring the feet in flat to the floor. And then just take your right foot out. You can keep it on the floor here, or you can take it a little bit higher if you want to work your tummy muscles a little bit more. And then place it down. Take the left foot out, do the same thing. And then if you feel like it, we're going back to the yogic cycling, so you're either staying on the floor like this and just kind of walking, but moving in and out, or you're lifting your feet off the floor and you're just doing a few, we're not going to do this for too long, it's not Pilates, so just a few yogic cycles. Try and do it on the breath, nice and slowly. So thinking of the upper body, draw the tummy in and draw the shoulders back and try and make it nice and long on the front of your body there. If it gets too heavy on the legs, watch what you're using. I use my hip flexors an awful lot here rather than my stomach muscles. It's a very lazy way of lifting my legs. Try and involve the tummy now and engage it. And then pop the feet to the floor. I won't go through that for 30 seconds more or 3 minutes or whatever they're doing Pilates, but great one for the core. Okay, grab your strap now. I'm going to use these to help me. Also, a wall will help here if you're not feeling terribly strong this morning, or a couch or something behind you. But taking your strap on your right foot, round that pad of the right foot, holding it in both hands. Just like we did in Parasympathetic, we're bringing the elbows into the side seams here, nice and tight. And then draw that knee in. Other leg, we're keeping straight just as counterbalance, flexing that other leg, drawing the tummy in as we draw the knee in. And then taking the leg away from you. Now, as you do that, you might find you do it naturally, but think of gently opening up and moving backwards with your shoulders. So you're coming into a V shape at the bottom where your legs and your tummies are. So bring it into a V shape. See if you can lift that leg just a little bit more. To do that, to balance, draw your shoulders slightly down the back of your body. Keep those elbows engaged to your side seams. If you can do this without the strap, fine, if that's what you want to do this morning. You can point your feet as well if you want to try that bit. Bring the leg down when you're ready and try it on the other side. So 2 or 3 options there, but think first of all of drawing the knee in, drawing the elbows in, drawing the tummy in, and then as the foot moves away from you and the strap slides through your hands, see if you can take your crown back just slightly so that you're coming into that V shape here between the leg and the body. And then see if you can lift that leg a little bit more. You might need to lean back slightly to do that. Use the wall or the sofa behind you if you need to. Take the strap down if you want to. Point the foot if you want to. And then release that leg down. And yes, we have 2 legs, so we're going to try both of them now. A little bit harder to balance without the counterbalance of your other leg. So thinking of this, and we'll do a couple of breaths at the top of this one if we can. So elbows in. Keep that engagement with the elbows, it does help. Draw back, you have to lean back to lift your legs probably off the floor. Use the wall, as I say, or anything behind you if you need to. Draw the tummy in now and draw the heart forward. Legs are still softly bent here, but they're floating off the floor. You can stay here and just take 2 or 3 nice long deep breaths, or you can come with me and stretch your legs out. I'm not going to go full boat this morning, taking the strap down. I don't really feel I've got the energy, so if you do, please feel free to let go of the strap, point your toes, stay in this, but think of that nice long body, long legs, and that sort of V shape in between them. Keep the tummy engaged, draw the tummy in, draw up through your crown, press down through your sit bones. Find your breath, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, one more, inhale, exhale, and release when you're ready. So I was hanging on for grim death this morning. I haven't got the energy this morning to do that one. That tells me something. Okay, so then rolling back down to the floor. And to that, nice and slowly, open up the spine. Take a few rocks or whatever you feel you need to do. Maybe windscreen wipers would feel good here. Take the legs away from you. Have a right full body stretch. So moving from your waist down and up rather than from the foot to the hand. Think of opening up that area around your waist. Drawing back in towards the waist, take it on the left hand side. Again, moving from the waist down, waist up. Release back down, both hands over your head. Elbows can be bent if you're not on the floor with them straight. And then take a full body stretch. So both sides of your waist, moving the body downwards, moving the body upwards from that point. Finding that waist again. And then releasing back towards each other. We're going to take a twist to finish. I'll give you a few options of the twist because the one I want to do is twisted roots, which is quite a big one, but if you don't feel like doing that this morning, one option is to bring into half Apanasana again, take your right arm out and just roll over. You might want a brick, bolster or something under your leg there just to gently allow the leg to rest on. So that's an option, is just half Apanasana. Full, not half, Jatari Pravriti, sorry. Bring your knees in, you can do it with Apanasana, the full Apanasana start, and then holding your tummy in, you roll over both legs and go to the side that way. If you want to come with me and do twisted roots, which is a slightly bigger version, it's fallen eagle, the other way of putting it. So you bring both feet to the floor as if you were going to go into bridge. Going to lift your right leg up and cross it over your left leg as if you were just crossing your legs. But think of really squeezing your inner thighs together there. So squeezing the inner thighs, your right leg's now over your left. Arms are out at the side, just facing downwards gives you a little bit more support here. Lift your bottom up and move your bottom about an inch to your right, so towards the top leg side. And then you've made space now to fall into that twist. So it's not falling with style. Draw your tummy in and just slowly roll over towards your left side, using your tummy muscles here just to help you over. Again, you might need a brick or something under your leg. So if you need something to support you, just draw it in now and stick it under your leg or your thigh to where you're comfortable. So we're going into a twist and we want to be comfortable in this twist because the point of the twist is we're trying to open things. If you're not comfortable, if you're holding on, then you can release what we're trying to release. So don't feel you've got to reach the floor. Try and prop yourself up. If you feel you get into the position better that way, your body will gently open and then maybe you can move the prop. So really nice twist, this one, through all the abdominal area, the central region of your abdominal area. If you look towards your back hand, you're also working right up through to the vagal nerve. And I use my other hand on the top leg just to gently weight it slightly, so I really get in deeply into this twist. So you probably can feel things just moving slightly. Find your breath again, just gently breathe. Think of that connection between the breath and the belly, as well as the brain and the belly here. So a few more facts when you lie on this side. The bacteria in our gut can weigh up to 2 kilos. But that bacteria is a good thing, so it's not 2 kilos we want to lose, remember. Unusual. And the small intestine is actually longer than the large intestine. So this is a lovely, I love this twist. It may not be resonating with you guys, but I think it's a really good twist. It's great for so much of the body. And once you release into it, it's very relaxing, I find. But you have to make sure you're comfortable in it. Okay, we're going to come out of this side by drawing our tummies in and just rolling back up. And then you have to take yourself back to centre, that inch that we moved at the beginning. Uncross the legs. Have a stretch if you need to in between. If you were in one of the other side twists, then please gently come out of it the same way. Use the inhale and your tummy muscles to lift you back up to centre. And then cross your legs in the other way if you haven't already, or move into the other side of your supine twist. Remember to lift your bottom slightly over towards the top leg before you move into the twist of your twisted roots. And then just gently roll over using your tummy muscles, using the breath to help you control. Using your hands a little bit if you need to, using props when you get there. Turn the hands to look upwards and look towards your backhand if you're comfortable. Working on the other side of the neck here, so the vagal nerve moving down through that. Find your breath. Breathe into wherever you can find space now. And breathe out from wherever is tight. So it may be you're holding on through your jaw or through your bottom hip. Wherever is holding on, use your exhale on the next breath to release whatever's holding on. See if you can make a little bit more space through softening. And you inhale, find the space in your body, maybe through the open chest. And watch yourself soften as you get involved with the breath. The legs can move a little bit wherever you are in whatever twist. You don't need to hang on to it. It can move. Your legs can move away from you. They don't need to be exactly where they place down. So the enteric nervous system is the name for all this that's going on in our gut. It's got its own name. It's part of the autonomous central nervous system. So we know more about the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, our fight and flight, our rest and digest. This is the third part of it. It's involved with that, hence why it works best when we're in our parasympathetic nervous system, when we're in our rest and digest. Of course, that's what the name is. So the more we can put ourselves into that side of our nervous system, the rest and digest, the better it is for our gut. The less stress we have therefore on ourselves or put on ourselves, the better it is for our guts. So using yoga, which takes us into the parasympathetic nervous system a lot, particularly slower yoga, or the type of yoga we've just done here, hatha yoga, then we're doing our gut a lot more good than rushing around all day in the other side of our sympathetic nervous system. Balance is good, remember, but being stuck on one side or the other isn't always right for us. Okay, so we're going to move again. So use your tummy muscles wherever you are, engage them. Use your inhale to lift your back up, or only your legs. Bring yourself then into either Supta Baddha Konasana or Shavasana just for a couple of seconds. So Supta Baddha Konasana, lying on the floor with your feet together, letting your hips fall out. Shavasana, just your legs out to the side, feet falling out. Pop both hands now on your lower belly and put them into that diamond shape that we sometimes make there. So the thumbs come together pointing towards your tummy button. The index fingers come together pointing downwards. So you've got a diamond there over the soft part of your belly. Let your shoulders and your elbows just hang. And focus on that space in the diamond there. Now that's only one small part of your gastrointestinal tract. But that area is where we let go of things, literally. So we need to move it. We've moved it through our twists and we've moved it through what we've done today. Now move it with your breath. So as you breathe into that space, that diamond. Let it swell there through your belly. Again, we're using the diaphragm to push it down. But think of that space there. And as you exhale, let that space in the diamond just soften downwards towards your spine. Breathe in nice and slowly. Take it long and down through to your belly. Think of all those millions and trillions of cells and neurons and transmitters and microbiomes and all these funny little names that they've got things named for nowadays. Think of them all working in there, that little ecosystem. There's more going on in there than there is in the world today, probably, in each of us. Doing us good, helping us be healthy, but we have to help it sometimes. So yoga is what we are using. We are made of more bacteria than human cells. Some scientists say possibly 10 to 1. So we're more bacteria than we are human, in a way, if you think of that. Our gut's microbiome is an ecosystem of 100 trillion bacteria. That network of nerve cells in there and neurons is so extensive, it's often called the second brain. And remember that fun fact, if you remember nothing else, that we pass, how many times a day do we pass wind? I think it was 14. I read 15 yesterday, it's gone up since I last looked. So we pass wind 14 times a day. That's just one fun fact about your gut. When you're ready, you can stay in Shavasana, you can have a little lie there, or you can come up and finish class with me. So bring yourself up if you're going to finish slowly, take it out of it slowly. Don't rush up, take your time, your head's been down there for a little while. So, coming back to finish, a little whistle through bit about the gut. Lucy can give me my A star afterwards or my D minus or whatever I'm going to get. Guts are very important, so the more we work with any part of our body, the better it is for our physical health and our mental health. Everything is connected in this world. So next time your tummy rumbles or you get butterflies, remember it's trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell your brain something. Remember to trust your gut. Thank you everybody for the practice this morning and for joining me again, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. Namaste.